In today's weekly SMC outlook, I'm showing you what could be a bearish sign for the US dollar. We're talking about some Forex pairs, the euro, the pound, and also the dollar Swiss franc. I've got US oil and also gold, as well as Bitcoin to wrap things up. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So looking at the DXY first, we have the daily time frame here, and this is the level I said to watch in recent videos. So last week we had FOMC, and that's what triggered this massive sell-off here, this 2-day sell-off from the DXY that put the market below a critical level right around 100.1. So this is critical because if you go back and look at the price action here, okay, over the last really year plus, you can see that we have this symmetry off of the highs, even these lows back here. We have this high here, we've got this one right before the breakout, then we have these two lows. So this gives us a parallel channel. We saw the breakout from this back here, and so far now we are closing back below. Now, a couple of things. One, it's Friday, okay? Second is it's the end of the month. It's the last day of the month. So you do have to be careful because a lot of times the price action you get toward the end of the month, really the last 1 to 2 days, it's not always the most trustworthy information on the chart, okay? So just keep that in mind as we move into August. But so far you can see where Thursday did close below here and Friday tried to rally back above. And then obviously we're losing that level once again here on Friday. So all in all, guys, we could see a pullback here from the US dollar. And one area that I'm watching, okay, so let's talk about this here. And before I do, if you are looking for the broker that I trust, then check out IC Markets. See the link right below this video. So with that link, you are going to get a $1,000 deposit bonus. So it's up to 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000, and then future deposit bonuses of up to $25,000 using my link. Plus, if you deposit $10,000 or more in there, I will grant you lifetime access to our Discord group as well as the full SMC course. So one area that I'm watching here for the DXY over the coming days is going to be this pocket down here below 98.77. So you can see this low right back here, right on this run up. You can see this inefficiency back here. So I think if we were to hold below here into August, what I would be looking for is possibly a push down here into this low and then possibly sweeping that low down here in this area. Now, what we get from there, okay, is going to determine what we get next, obviously from the DXY. But the concerning part with that is that at least on the 4-hour time frame, if you look at this here, right, if this is our last break of structure back here, right, and this is our protected low back here, then if we take out this pocket down here, okay, if we close below here, then obviously that gives us a change of character. And this up here starts to look like a top, okay? So we'll see what we get in early August. Now, one thing to keep in mind as well is that you can see here, if we go to an 8-hour time frame, you can see here we do have this ascending channel, okay? So off of these highs back here and these lows, we do have this support coming in down here, also this low right around 99.38. So that could come into play here over the coming days. That's going to be a big one for this market to keep an eye on. Okay, so I don't want this coming across as, you know, all of a sudden I'm massively bearish on the US dollar, because I'm not. The structure here is still technically bullish, but like I said, closing below 100.1 does introduce some question marks, at least here from the DXY. Now, one last thing too, there is about 6 hours left in today's session. So really Friday and really the month of July could close above here. We're not far below this area right now. So the DXY could technically still close above 100.1. It is trading at 100.05 as I make this. So we're just below that mark. So watching how this reacts into the July close will be key. And again, you've got that near-term support coming in at 99.38. Okay, so let's discuss the euro and how this factors into this. Now, if you guys also want to see exactly how I trade SMC full time, check out the link right here on the screen. That is a free SMC strategy that I use every single week. So it's completely free. Click on that link, enter your name and email address, and you will be given access. Beyond that, you will have a chance to join us in the VIP Discord group as well. And that will also grant you access to the full SMC course. Okay, so EURUSD, we still have the market technically making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so that's the first thing to note here, is that structurally you can see we've made lower highs and lower lows ever since this point back here. Okay, so early 2026. So this structure that we've seen here from the euro is still intact, even though we are seeing a pretty aggressive bounce following FOMC. Now, like I mentioned with the DXY, it's also a Friday, also the last trading day of the month. So you do have to be careful with the last few days here that we've seen, because this could, I'm not saying that it will, but it could reverse, okay? Now, one thing to watch here for the euro, really interesting, is that there is a channel here off of these highs and lows. So if you'll notice these lows back here, and we have these two highs. Okay, now at the moment, we are holding above this on a daily closing basis. You can see Thursday closed above. Right now, Friday is holding above. So this kind of coincides with DXY in that 100.1 area. Now on the other side here, we have the top of this channel, which currently, okay, as of early next week, could come in right around like 115.40 or so. So that's also going to be one to watch because you can see this has been the channel that the euro has traded in all year, right? We've got resistance up here. This is going to be a really strong resistance here for this market right around that mark that I just mentioned. Okay, so for the euro guys, it's really kind of up in the air. What I think this comes down to next week is, do we see a daily close back below here, back within this channel, get acceptance back below here? This starts to look like a failed break or deviation. Alternatively, if we see the euro start to clear this area up here on a daily closing basis, we could have a larger breakout toward levels like 116.22. Okay, so pretty straightforward for now. Like I said, be a little bit cautious with these moves that we're seeing here at the end of July, just because we did just have a FOMC. It's the last couple of days of the month here that we're getting these moves, and so you've got to be really just kind of vigilant with this price action that we're getting right now. So for the pound, we talked about this last time, but you can see where we did get the close above here. So internally, this right here was a change of character. Okay, now you can see so far we are seeing the higher low, but really all in all, guys, like I've said for the pound for a long time, this is just such a sideways market. I mean, you look at this here. This was the start of 2026 back here. All we've done is just go sideways. And not only that too, but even with this sideways action, you can see where the pound just goes through these periods right here of just going completely sideways and just chopping everybody up, okay? So this is why I just haven't been a big fan of the pound this year, just because the price action, even though we are getting some decent swings from this market, you can see that in between here, we have really, in some cases, weeks of just complete chop, okay? So for the pound areas I'm watching, obviously this high back here is going to be critical. And then we've got this area up here. This is the larger protected high. So if we go to a 4-hour time frame, what you'll notice is that this was a BOS back here. Okay, so this close below the low back here gives us that bearish BOS. And if we look here at this structure, which is the larger structure, okay, here on the chart, you can see where this up here is the protected high. Okay, so technically speaking, right, in the larger picture, in terms of this right here, this structure, this BOS, this up here is your protected high. As long as we're below this, technically, broadly speaking, the pound is still considered bearish to sideways. Okay, so keep that in mind. But really, a lot of this is just going to come down to the DXY, what we get early in August, whether we can close back above here, above that 100.1 mark, or if we start to break down below 99.38. All right, so for the dollar Swiss franc, this one here, I wanted to point this out because I did mention this trend line a while back. We never saw a retest here. Okay, so I think this is going to get really interesting over the coming days, because what you'll notice is that we are starting to get a pullback from this market. Okay, now on top of that, you can see where we are starting to see, and this kind of coincides with the DXY closing below that level, right? We've got this trend line here off the lows. We're breaking below this. So we are probably going to come down here and test this as the DXY rotates lower in August. Okay, so what we get from here, right around 79.50, this is going to be key. If we see a change of character develop down here and a bounce form, right, then old resistance becomes new support. Okay, and again, we didn't see a retest here. And as you can see on this breakout, we did have a lot of displacement back here. So that means that this back here is an inefficiency for this market. Again, 79.50 is going to be the area to watch. Now, if we were to start to close below here, a daily close below, this becomes a failed breakout or a deviation, and we probably head back here toward the lows. That, in my opinion, could be, very bearish for the US dollar, but I don't want to get ahead of myself because, again, all of this is going to come down to, in my opinion, that area right around 79.50. If we can hold this, then we could see, a continuation of this trend here. Okay, so you can see here, really nice channel from this market as well. So really, this area down here, this pocket is going to be one to watch, because this is going to determine whether this uptrend continues for this market. Okay, or again, if we start to close below this area, then this becomes a failed breakout. So a really interesting pair. I think this one is going to be really nice to trade over the coming weeks, regardless of what we get down there. Okay, so next up here, we have gold XAUUSD, which really, guys, just no movement here whatsoever. And this is why I said recently too, there was a trend line break, a bullish trend line break here, but that alone doesn't signal a bottom, because the structure here is still pointing to the same. And that structure is still technically bearish, because you can see back here, we had the BOS, right? The break below this low. And so then this was your protected high. All of this right here is well below that high. So there's nothing here on the chart to tell me that the bottom is in. Now, if we were to see gold come down here and take out these lows, Okay, so take out these lows down here, test 38.95, and then close below here. Okay, so close below here and then close back above this high back here. Then yeah, you could have a change of character because now, right, if you close below these lows, this right here becomes your protected high. Okay, so as of right now, guys, in my opinion, this is still looking pretty bearish. I mean, the trend is still bearish, and now we're just going sideways. Okay, now we'll see how this reacts with the DXY if it does pull back. But again, right now, as of this video, there's really not a ton to do here. One thing you could watch too is off of these lows right here. You can see lows right here, and then we've got highs up here. Now you could draw this, a few different ways. What I would probably do is off of this high back here, do something like this here, where you can see the market is coiling. Okay, so this could be something to watch, over the coming days in terms of a breakout. But again, there's nothing here to really signal that the bottom is in for gold. Okay, so next up we have US oil WTI. This was the call that I made back here at this 66.70 support level. So we talked about this when the market was coming down here toward this area. And I said that this displacement back here, this inefficiency was the one to watch for a possible buying opportunity. You can see really, really nice move back there toward my target, which was that $90 area. Now, since that time, we have seen some weakness here from WTI. No surprise there because the market came back here into this pocket of consolidation. Okay. So for right now, it's going to be a little bit tricky, in my opinion, to trade this one just because I think this back here, and you can see it right here too, this BOS and change of character, and even this descending channel breakout here on the 4-hour was so incredibly clean. This was the trade, guys. This was a really nice trade here from this market. As of right now, it's a little bit difficult to figure out just because we are now, pulling back and just kind of going sideways here. Not to mention too that WTI is going to stay, pretty volatile with everything going on in Iran. Okay. Now, one thing too, I mean, obviously over the coming weeks, if we were to get a break of this descending channel here, okay, this could technically be consolidation before the next breakout. Okay. So in order to play that, obviously we'd have to have a break of this level up here. We're nowhere close to that point yet. So we could just see this market kind of unwind a bit here, down here toward inefficiencies like this, before we get that push, back here toward the resistance level, which, could at that point coincide with this high up here. All right, so moving along to Bitcoin, wrapping up with this one. So last day of the month, guys, we're moving into August. Now, look, I want to be clear that even though we've seen, a rally from Bitcoin, a lot of people out there talking about the bottom being in for crypto. In my opinion, the bottom is not in. I think that this is just some relief before we get that next leg lower, possibly down there toward that $40,000 to $50,000 area. Now, I did expect, or I was really kind of, I hate to say the word, but I was hoping that we would close July a little bit more constructive here because my narrative going into August, knowing that August and September are really crypto's most bearish months by far, I was looking for, basically, if we go to a monthly time frame, what I was looking for from this market, and what I'm still looking for, was for July to close green, which we will. There's only a few hours left in this candle. And then in July to come up here and take out this high and possibly test this area up here, right around 68, 69K. $69,000, guys, is the 2021 high. And there's also a single print up here from this drop. So I do think that in August, we probably, early relief, maybe the first week or two of August, see some early relief up here toward this area, sweep July's high, and then from there, possibly start to put in lower highs and lower lows. So the reason though that today's session makes things a little bit more difficult, in my opinion, is because I was looking for Bitcoin to close July a little bit more constructive. Okay, so you can see here, we've got this really nice ascending channel here. And so what I was looking for was Bitcoin to kind of hold above here. And then into August, possibly a slight pullback. And then we get the push up here and take out these highs, right, in August. And then possibly that becomes the top. But as of now, with this, if this closes below, and again, there are several hours left, anything could happen here. But if we were to lose this area, then you're looking at this, pocket down here, this inefficiency down there around 60K, possibly 61. And then in which case an early August rally all the way up here just becomes, in my opinion, just a real uphill battle for this market because it's even struggled just to get from here up here toward this area. We didn't even take out this high. So I just think that this level here is going to be the one to watch into today's close. Ideally, we close above here for my narrative to play out where we get that early August relief. And then this up here becomes the top. Because it's not often that you get Bitcoin putting in a high or a top like this, and you have this high back here and then a lower high. Typically, you get the market sweeping these highs up here first before you get that continuation lower, okay? So that's what to watch. I think if we close below here, this is going to become resistance here. We've got, again, support down there around 60, 61. Okay, so I don't think that the bottom is in yet for Bitcoin, guys. I still think that we head lower down there toward, $40 to $50,000 in Q4. But we'll have to wait and see. However, watch this level here today. So if we move in here right around like 63, I'm going to say 63,250, 63,300. That's going to be the one to watch into Friday's close, into that July 31st close, to see what we get, whether we hold above here and stay constructive going into August, or if we start to break down and expose this area down here in early August. All right, so that's it for today's video. Keep it locked in here, subscribe to the channel. Also check out that free SMC training right here on the screen. Click that link, enter your name and email address. You will be given completely free access. So have a great weekend. I will talk to you again next week.